Hi kids, today we're going to be reading That True Story of the Grandmother of Juneteenth, Opal and What It Means to Be Free by Faye, Duncan, illustrations by Keturah, Bobo. Let's see what the story is about. Happy Juneteenth, Jamboree. Come and join the fun. Opal waved to her great-grandson as he barreled across the park. He zipped past lines of picnic tables covered with platters of barbecue, baked beans, tomato tarts, and raspberry cobbler. Happy Juneteenth. He hurried past a leaping choir draped in purple robes. He danced a jig with cowboys playing fiddles, but they did not stop with his flow. Buddy ran to the blooming tree where Opal held court. Her braided hair was a silver crown. Her eyes were twinkling stars. Great grand dear, Buddy called, tell us a Juneteenth story. Opal raised her face to the sun as memories of yesteryear filled her vision. When she had been a Texas bud like the children at her feet, Granddaddy Zach told freedom stories of his wooden porch. As Opal remembered his words, she lifted her hands and cheered. Juneteenth means freedom, and now it's story time. Then Opal began. Once upon a blazing sun, black bodies were bought and sold like cattle. Black men plowed the fields but were not allowed to own the land. Black women cooked the food but were not allowed to feast on roast and ribs from the master's table. Black children cleaned the one-room schoolhouses but were not allowed to read or write. Earning and learning were against the law. Slavery was a thief. American slavery dragged on like a plague on January 1st, 1863. That's when President Lincoln wielded courage and raised his feather pen. He signed the Emancipation Proclamation with a mighty stroke. On that first day of January, in the year of our Lord, 1863, all persons held as slaves should be forever free. Glory, 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 freedom was dazzling news like a bright, starry night. However, Texas was big and many miles away from Mr. Lincoln. White masters defied his words. Black bodies remained in bondage. They plowed, they cooked, they cleaned. Freedom did not ring through Texas in 1863. It was toiling times in Lone Star State. For 2 years, 5 months, and 18 more weary days. Then finally, joy jumped up on dancing feet in the Gulf town of Galveston. The year was 1865. The day was June 19th. Gordon Granger marched through Galveston with Union Army troops. The general raised his booming voice and spoke these righteous words. The people of Texas are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the executive of the United States, all slaves are free. Opal danced in a circle. Freedom, hope, and joy divine. Juneteenth means it's freedom time. Can you imagine the excitement? Singing filled the air. Happy tears rolled down like rain. Black families lived through cotton fields and played on tambourines. It was a day of jubilee, perfect for Texas barbecue, watermelon, and sweet potato pie. Delicious delights they had been denied during servitude. Opal told the children, remember my words for safekeeping. Remember what I say. Juneteenth is bigger than Texas. singing or dancing bands. Juneteenth is freedom rising, and freedom is for everyone. Juneteenth is you and me. As the children clapped and cheered, Buddy tugged her sleeve. Great granddear, he called, what was Juneteenth like when you were a kid? Opal unwrapped another story. Blacks and whites lived separately when I was a child. Jim Crow signs littered all Fort Worth in every public place. Black families were banned from Forest Park Zoo except one day of the year. On Juneteenth, we could picnic, party, and ride the Ferris wheel. I hated that zoo. I love it too. The birdhouse was my favorite. Bodie groaned and shook his head. The old days don't sound good. Good and bad work together like the sun and rain. I spent good days on my granddaddy's porch reading poetry books. His farm was my playground. I ran across the field and climbed the tallest tree. Glory, glory, glory. Some memories are chocolate sweet, but some memories cut and bruised. My saddest season started on Juneteenth Day, 1939. An angry mob with flaming sticks burned my family's brand new house. Their broken minds and evil hearts were so afraid of black progress. The police made no arrests. My family moved away. And yet the embers burn. That fire still lives in me. I learned a big lesson that Juneteenth Day. Freedom is a golden coin. Struggle makes it shine. And no matter how long it takes for freedom to stretch across the land, I will keep on teaching. I will keep on reaching. I will keep on walking. I will keep on talking. I will raise my voice on the prairie and the mountain top until freedom rings. The children lifted their hands in praise. Freedom, hope, and joy divine. Juneteenth means it's freedom time. Opal winked and chuckled. I think now it's time for barbecue, strawberry cake, and red Juneteenth punch. Glory, glory, glory. Buddy cheered and waved his hands. When he bounced up to leave, Opal hugged him tightly. Then, just like birds in flight, then, just like birds in flight, all the children flocked into her arms. Opal studied their shining faces, black, brown, bronze, gold, tan, white, freckles. As the children dashed away, she marveled at the bright future. She rested against the blooming tree and whispered into the wind, remember my words for safekeeping. Remember what I say. Freedom is for everyone. Juneteenth is you and me. And that, guys, was the end of the story. Juneteenth, red punch, strawberry lemonade. In Texas, Big Red is a bottle soft drink, also called red soda water. The red cream soda is often served at Juneteenth celebrations. This punch recipe is to make and offer a new, puckering, and pleasing twist to the traditional red soda water that has been made in Texas in 1937. Juneteenth Timeline from 1619. 20 captured Africans arrived in Jamestown, Virginia. They are the first Africans sold into slavery in the British North American colonies. July 4th. Congress adopts the Declaration of Independence, announcing the colony's separation from Great Britain. The liberties given in this document are not extended to enslaved people. September 22, 1862. And it continues, guys, the timeline. And this one is about Opal, the grandmother of Juneteenth. Opal is a story keeper and historian. She says, if we don't remember what we have been through, our nation is doomed to repeat it. Opal was born in Marshall, Texas on October 7, 1926, where she grew up in Fort Worth. Her grandfather, Shakra Rodus Sr., was the son of an enslaved mother. Opal learned from her papa how President Lincoln ended slavery in the Southern Confederate States with the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation of January 1, 1863. But Texas was large, remote, and without protection from the Union troops, so the enslaved people there did not receive the news of their freedom until over 2 years later. Finally, on June 19, 1865, General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston and served Lincoln's order to free the enslaved. This day of freedom is called Juneteenth, a word that combines June and 19th. The first Juneteenth anniversary was celebrated in Texas on June 19, 1866. Black Americans gathered in during the servitude, such as barbecue, strawberry pie, and punch made with fresh fruit. They gathered to remember the sorrow of enslavement as well as to sing and celebrate the joy of liberation. At least 7 freedoms were gained for Black Americans following Juneteenth and the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution. In 1865, blacks could now work for wages on land, name themselves, read and write, serve in the military, travel, and worship freely.